Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Boom Bitcoin Vigilante, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we're slowly revamping the channel, guys, by next month, by the beginning of the year. We're going to be doing more in 2025. It's going to be more travel, more Bitcoin stuff, more stand-up comedy. And I'm also working on doing an animated series. And don't forget, you can get our album, A Socialist Christmas with Graham Elwood. It is available on iTunes, Amazon, and Spotify. There's the iTunes link if you want to grab that, or just go into iTunes or go into Amazon and type in A Socialist Christmas with Graham Elwood. There is only one. So check that out. Why is the Socialist Christmas album kind of important? Because of what is going on. Last week, the CEO of United Healthcare, which has a history of denying claims, it is the highest percentage of of all the health insurance companies in America. UHC has a 32% rate of rejecting claims, which means they've cost a lot of people's lives. The New York Times and I believe Harvard estimate that it is roughly 40,000 Americans a year die because they are denied health insurance or denied health coverage because they don't have health insurance, or they're denied claims. They're denied, they need coverage, they pay for insurance, and then the insurance company says no. United Healthcare is one of those companies. So we've all seen the videos of the suspect. And now they apparently caught this guy today at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Wow. So they got this guy just lickety split. We haven't gotten anybody on Epstein's flight logs. Like nobody, we can't seem to get anybody. Prince Andrew, we know where he is right now. We can't seem to get him. The Clintons have been on Epstein's plane. Trump has been on Epstein's plane. We can't get those people, though. We just can't, but we get this guy, bing, bang, boom. Isn't that crazy? That's so crazy. And I got to tell you, the Bonnie and Clyde story, from the 1920s, that kind of stuff was happening. John Dillinger, people were poor and they started, hitting the rich. And let me tell you something. If more CEOs start getting clipped, you better believe suddenly, miraculously, a bipartisan gun control law will just pass, like bing, and they'll get all the guns off the streets. Just get ready for that. But Luigi Maggioni, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it, is the suspect in the United Healthcare CEO shooting. So is the suspect in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, was held without bail and did not enter a plea in his first court appearance today in Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania. He faces 5 charges, including 1 felony count of forgery, 1 felony count of carrying a firearm without a license, according to the criminal complaint. Mangione was arrested on a gun charge after being picked up while eating at a McDonald's in Altoona, following an employee calling the cops. Way to go, snitch. The NYPD chief of detectives said. The 26-year-old, by the way, the age 26 is when you're no longer, that's when you age out. If you're on your parents' health coverage, 26 is the oldest you can be on your parents. So when you turn 26, you're no longer on your parents' healthcare coverage. You got to get your own healthcare. So if you're in your 20s, if you're 26 and up, and you're trying to afford healthcare in a country where, minimum wage, working 40 hours a week at a minimum wage job cannot afford the cost of living in all 50 states. He was also in possession of a document railing against the healthcare industry, as police officials who have seen the document told CNN. Meta removed accounts belonging to the suspect in United Healthcare fatal shooting. Suspect started kind of shaking when he was asked if he'd been to New York. Suspect believed to be in Pennsylvania for several days, state police say. YouTube removed channels. So this is all just like Pennsylvania governor says this kid is no hero. Between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, okay. So this is the official narrative coming out of CNN and all of the other corporate media. So I don't want to just immediately jump to crazy conspiracies. We got to have more evidence than that. But this does raise a lot of questions. So this guy, this shooting happened 5 days ago in New York City, and the furthest this guy could get was Pennsylvania. Now, you could make a case that maybe he's not all there mentally and didn't have a real plan. He was just like, I'm going to gun this guy down and whatever. That could happen. A lot of criminals get caught because they make a bunch of mistakes. They're not that sharp. But it is odd that they just catch this guy lickety split. But even if, let's say, this kid is completely guilty, it just shows you how, when they really want to catch, when a regular person commits a crime, boy, they catch them immediately. Nobody on Epstein's list. Flint, Michigan still has contaminated water 9 years later. The mayor of Flint, Michigan should be held accountable. What about all of these CEOs where, there's a lot of blood on Brian Thompson's hands, the CEO of United Healthcare, but that's legal. That's not when a health insurance company denies somebody's claim and then people die as a result because they can't get health care. How come that's not called murder? That's just good business practices. What is that? All right. That's capitalism. Okay. Got it. But then, so we'll see more as this unfolds, but it just quickly, there's this official, I just am always suspect when there's this, they catch the guy and then boom, there's this official narrative. Oh, he said these things, or here's his accounts. And it all seems very convenient. Now, just to play devil's advocate, if this person had a lot of issues with the healthcare system and was ranting and raving about it on social media and decided to go do what he did, then that does make sense. That does make sense. But I don't know. It's still, I got a lot of questions here. I have a lot of questions. I got a lot of questions. So again, even if this kid is 100% guilty, he did it, he's the one, he had motive, and it all proves out. It still just shows you at the end of the day, law enforcement is to protect the ruling elites, not us. It's to protect the ruling elites. We are the richest country in the history of the world. And, CEOs that profit off of people's misery, they're protected. So the ruling elites do a very good job of keeping America divided. America thinks it's in a culture war. We're not. We're in class warfare. But there's a lot of people united on the results of what happened. I'm seeing, all of a sudden, a lot of these, like some people I don't agree with, the Trumpers or the liberals who are still crying about the election, all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh, thoughts and prayers, CEO. Suddenly, no one is losing a lot of sleep. All of a sudden, isn't that fascinating? That's what unites the MAGA crowd and the liberals is this, Well, they're going to work really hard to get us all fighting with each other again. They're going to work really hard. They're going to trust me. This kid's going to get locked up quick. Justice is served. He's going to jail forever. And then there'll be something getting us all fighting with each other again. Just be careful. That's what the ruling elites do. When their power is threatened, they get us all fighting with each other. Because what they don't want all Americans, red, blue, MAGA, socialist, libertarian. They don't want all of us going, yeah, maybe those guys need to be dealt with in a different kind of way. They don't want that. But just get ready with some strict gun laws coming. Yeah. Get ready with that. So support our show, everybody. We'll keep following this. It's crazy times in America. It's crazy times in America. And this is why I'm telling you, be ready for like a financial collapse or something, which is more the reason I've been telling you for 4 or 5 years now to buy Bitcoin. Because if the US dollar goes down, then it's really going to be nuts. And that's one thing the ruling elites will not be able to control. There's millions of hungry people in this country, pissed off and hungry. And they will forget whoever they voted for. If 6 months, a year, 18 months from now, they can't feed their families or pay their bills, it won't matter. So remember now, every time everyone starts to get united, that's when the big division comes in. Remember? During COVID, the first couple months ago, everyone was united. The George Floyd protests, everyone was starting to get united. Everyone was sick of that. Everyone was just like tired of anybody in power. They surrounded the White House and they wouldn't put that on the news. They breached the perimeter of the White House that last week of May in 2020. In Atlanta, they went to the CNN building. Right? Remember that? And then within a year, they had everybody fighting about the vaccine mandates, pro, anti, and everyone fought them. They had everybody divided. Right like that. So if everybody gets united around this, this Bonnie and Clyde, there's more Bonnie and Clyde stuff happening, more Americans will unite on that, then they will find something to divide us. Follow the money. Connect the dots. Get the truth. Shave your knuckles for justice. Boom.